much of that is like, do you remember?
A pretty good amount.
How many times have you seen the movie?
Once.
Wow.
Yeah. I never freeze. And then like literally after this entire badass fight scene, he's like, Nakia, hi. That shit was great.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
But brother, what are those?
I go last week's episode, like
What?
I like how last week's episode we were talking about like accent, humor, and race, and
Yeah. Are we? Oh, we're on.
oh yeah, we're on.
I never. I can't get over that. Sorry.
Back up from the mic a little bit, please.
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm just making sure that I'm getting all this fixed up. Yeah. So you can actually. So I'm leaning back like this. You can feel free to lean back.
Is that okay?
Yeah, it's fine. It's picking you up perfectly.
Hey, don't worry about that, okay? I'll get to it later.
What? Who is that?
We did that while we were loading the shit out, didn't you?
Cállate, güey, pendejo.
Whoa.
Can I get it open?
Yeah.
Can you get your face?
Siéntate,
I
por favor.
have one of that Stone IPA, but I'm like, that's too much.
The delicious?
Your mom's
Was our Coleman in there?
No, the go-to.
Oh.
The expired go-tos that I took.
The expired go-tos.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Golden Boys.
Yes. Welcome back.
So
Excuse me while I open a beer. There we go.
as I said last week,
It's a root beer.
Oh, it is. It's an alcoholic beer.
we were gonna bring. It was like Nico back because we all know how much you hated him. So we're gonna see if you guys can endure him for one more episode. I absolutely
He
adore his
means
company.
adore, not indoor.
Shut
I
up.
just said I adore your
I
company.
like. You know, it's funny. He has had quite a few more beers than the last episode.
I've literally just opened a new one. What are you talking about?
Starting to slur a little bit. I don't know if you can.
I
notice that.
started the last one with the blue moon. I ended the last one with the same
He's
blue
slurring a
moon.
little bit. Can you hear that?
Yeah, I
That
I
could
hear
be-
it.
Don't you throw up on my couch.
I'm not gonna throw one. I'm not gonna throw on your couch.
Even in the burp.
Two, that could be because I've been up since like
Yeah. okay.
7:45.
Fair enough.
Me too.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
For,
Well, anyways.
for a reason I'm not gonna state.
Well, anyways, thank you guys for listening. This is Golden Boys. My name is Matthew Langton.
My name is Ruben Ortega.
And we are joined today by Nico, the hoodlum Hurtado.
I plead the fifth.
I plead the fifth.
Please enjoy.
And there's the tag.
There's the tag.
And now your ears are bleeding.
Okay, so there was a take before the last episode that I had to delete because I was trying to fix the audio issues.
Yeah.
And Nico was all like, I came onto the show to completely defend myself, and
And then he proceeded to cuss.
oh yeah,
For the record, let's
all that.
talk about that. That was premeditated. Okay, we discussed.
Why you gotta ruin this?
No.
We discussed that I had to get it out early.
You're the one who. It was your idea, fool.
And am I not funny?
I thought
Debate.
That was before the beers. Okay?
Debatable. Anyways.
So we're just gonna talk a little bit more about Nico for a second.
We're gonna make that real.
Since we
Oh,
like to trash talk
shit.
Nico a lot.
So we're gonna start roasting him? Is that what we're gonna do?
Well, we're
I
gonna
don't-
see
I
what
don't
I'm
he.
in the
that.
room this time.
Okay.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So
Not that I'm worth
Look,
much.
I just
now.
wanna. Come on.
oh wait.
I just wanna put this out here really quick.
I mean, after
as
all
much
this.
as much shit as I give Nico, I love this fool. He's
Yeah,
a good guy.
same.
You know, and like also any shit.
I
talking
feel like
that
I'm
I
about to
say,
get some dick on a couch
You
later.
are fool. You swear like it's not gonna happen.
we
but
keep making a
what-
comment that every time like anything we say bad about you on the show, we say in front of your
Yeah,
face.
we say to your face.
So
like,
can you confirm or deny that?
I've never been called the McRib to my face.
that was just an analogy.
I'm not sure if that was the last guest test.
I don't remember.
No, that was way. That was early. I was early
I always
on.
forget. Why was I comparing? Oh yeah, I remember now.
Yeah.
I've never been called the McRib before.
I don't know if it's an insult.
I mean, I've been called
or a-
far worse. I live with my father, but yeah, never been called the McRib.
Yeah,
But
my dad just doesn't call me. But you know, that's what's up.
whoa, all right. Well, digging in deep early.
Daddy issues.
I love how I was on a diet for half of today.
And then you were like,
then
I
I
want
had-
wings. And I was like, how about we go get
And then I hung out
Panda
with.
Express?
I literally. Here's what happens. I'm on a good kick, and then I hang out with Matt.
No, don't even start.
And
We
then-
went to Panda Express and you were like, all right. And I was
then
like,
he
cool, I'm going to
back
get tofu.
Then he
I was
plunges
like,
me down.
all right, I'm going to get tofu.
So there's
And then
this
you were like,
local, there's this
no, I
local
want hot
place.
wings.
It's a Mexican, Pacific Islander, Filipino fusion.
Oh, MJ.
Matt introduced me to it. We were there like once every 2
I
weeks
love
afterward.
MJ. Yeah, because every 2 weeks we get paid and we'd be like, I can afford MJ's now.
We were there once every 2 weeks in between class and volunteering to teach elementary schoolers
How
music.
to play instruments.
How to
yes.
ideally is how to play instruments.
Oh man, I'm just really enjoying the fact that I'm like queuing in everybody. Just
Matt-
like, back up.
Back up, you're
Bully,
too loud.
come.
Back up.
Matt was sort of bribing them with dollar store candy.
Oh my god.
Yes, I was.
I had two
I
that
can see that.
I had two that wanted to
Hey,
learn.
I'm not quiet. You're not supposed to tell people.
You're not supposed to tell people that I like try to pick up kids on the
Well,
side.
anyways, so back to the original point.
Oh, anyway, so
Back
I,
to the original. So yeah,
I would be-
do we not say everything to your face though?
oh no, we're this group and others. We name dropped him now. Now he has to be on.
Oh, Orgio.
Orgio.
So we,
Orgio's
we're
next.
all
He has to be
very
next.
clearly where it's like
Rogel.
we will say something behind your back, but one, you've already heard it. Two, it's a joke we're gonna tell you. Or three, we're gonna say 5 times as worse and build on the joke.
Also, usually it's not even behind someone's back. It's just they happen to not be present.
Yeah,
at the
it's not
moment.
even like deliberately like.
Oh my
"Hey."
God.
It's not like, hey,
It's like
I'm gonna talk
Hey,
shit
did you hear
about.
Did you hear about what Nico did the other day?
Yeah,
with,
he-
No, it's more like Nico's a dumbass. Hey, Nico, you're a dumbass.
You dumbass. Tell him why. I'm like, what? Yeah, that thing. Oh, okay.
Oh, that thing. Yeah, that's
Like,
I think it's really funny though because it's like usually when we go somewhere and Matt just can't make it.
Yeah.
Rather than it being it's like Matt's a dumbass. It's just impersonation.
me.
Oh my
It's just
God.
Matt isms.
So last,
I gotta find out what some of these Mattisms are. I only know like 2.
so last time Rogelio and I were at Modern Times, we went to go pick up like 2 things.
Yeah.
We
That's
ended up there for
crazy.
2 hours, by the way.
I believe it.
And I'm like, fuck.
So
And I'm like, I need to get back home and sleep. And he's like, no, now we're going to Stone Brewery. I'm like, mother.
That
Fuck
guy,
that.
he drove you too, didn't he?
He drove the whole day.
Oh Lord.
So-
How is he not dead?
Fuck if I know.
I swear. I think he lives as. I think he doesn't have
Also,
a sober state. He's
I
just
had to
drunk.
wake him up. So let's start with the beginning of the day. I had an appointment in the morning. A debriefing in the morning about something I was supposed to do the next day. Didn't happen. Long story. Let's not go into that for Sabrina to hear. Sabrina and possibly Ricardo. They probably know the details anyway. Maybe not Sabrina, but she'll hear eventually from you, or she's heard from you already. What's going on with my life?
Leather gloves and bending over were involved.
There were they were not leather gloves.
Sorry,
There
latex.
There was
I apologize. Latex.
There was a
gloves.
bending and
I
the spreading of the cheeks. That is 100% true.
Was it these ones?
Long story short, we've reduced back to noises, primal noises.
Hey,
Anyway,
Okay, wait. Quickly. Really quick. That's one thing that I do say that it's like Mexicans do. We do like to make noises.
That's true.
Like we have sound effects for almost everything.
Yeah, that's true. Oh yeah, like we'll be working in the kitchen and they'll just be like, meow. Oh, like Temo.
I love our name dropping people who now
Yeah, who
are
aren't- yeah.
totally unrelated.
They're not even in there. Anyways, okay.
Fuck.
Let's get back to
Sorry,
the original
sorry.
thing.
So
you.
we go to one brewery, end up in the brewery. Anyway, we're at the first brewery, right? Oh no, I was talking about how I had to wake his ass up. So
Oh,
my
yeah.
briefing is at like 9. I'm done in 30 minutes. They're like, this is what's gonna happen. This is what you're gonna need to do. This is what they're gonna do to you. Here's what you need to show up with. Be prepared for a long day. I didn't know it was gonna be a fucking 13-hour day. Ruben's dropping drumsticks. There is. I feel like
That
that's-
is the
I
stink
feel
of
like I don't
toilet
need to
plunger.
explain that. That's a very distinctive sound. I've dropped a drumstick.
That's actually it's a toilet plunger stick.
Oh fuck me
I
then.
want to wash my hands now.
It wasn't used.
It's
for-
got no toilet plunger on it. You
No,
know where
I-
it is. It's in his
it's-
trombone case.
It's my mute.
I feel violated.
Anyway, so I have to wake his ass up. So I'm done. We talked about it already too. He's like, hey, let's go up there. I'll pick up what we need to pick up, and I'll text you when I'm done.
Okay.
I text him. Nothing. I call him.
Nothing.
Nothing. I text him again. I'm heading over.
Yeah.
I get there. I call him. Nothing. I call him again. Nothing. I walk up to his house. I'm like, nah, what if his mom's home? I don't know his mom. I don't want to intrude on someone else's home.
Yeah.
So I walk over to the little like the glorified pond they call it.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I call him again. I call him one more time for that. He answers.
Really? What does he say?
He's like,
Yeah.
he had
You're fine.
obviously just
You could
woken
probably
up,
just a little bit.
right? He's like, what?
Yeah.
So, I'd obviously woken him up from his peaceful
From his-
his
Was
beauty
he, was he
sleep.
hungover or was he just
Yes.
sleeping? And he decided to go.
He
I
ex-
mean,
he
hair of
expl-
the dog, the bitch. I
He
guess.
explains what happens, right? Fucker, here's how it connects to what you were saying. Fucker had an open breakfast stout that he sips before we leave. He's
Oh
like, I got a hangover. I got to cure this.
What the fuck?
He has a little bit of that. Then we go up to, I think that's like 30 minutes away, 20 minutes away with no traffic. We never
How
know.
does that guy drink?
20 step, right? Then we go, and in this modern times, Llamaland Fermatorium.
What?
That's what they call it, the Llamaland Fermatorium.
Really? That's a badass name.
Lomaland
Oh,
Fermatorium.
that makes more
Fuck
sense.
him. Oh, I can't say that.
Anyways,
Lomaland,
you said it already. Anyways, so.
Lomaland Fermatorium. Right, that's that generational thing. Lomaland Fermatorium. They also have a best fucking brewery ever. They have a coffee shop in the brewery. They have a cafe.
Oh yeah. Well, it's because it's a tasting room.
Just taste, yes, I guess.
Tasting
But
room.
there's giant fucking vats of brewing shit behind it.
Ah, it's so good.
It's
Oh, they have great coffee, cold brew.
So
they have mixed drinks.
so we
too,
get
they're
there and
good.
he's like,
Ooh.
I get the
Was that your dog? What was that?
something made an inhuman noise.
Yeah, that was.
Anyway,
Shh. Might be too loud. Should probably take it down just a notch.
no, you can't hear it past the hallway. You can't hear it
You
once
can
you
tell?
once you get in the hallway. You can't hear it.
Really?
You guys are still talking and
Well, we weren't being as loud as we are right now though. Anyways,
You're actually pretty
it's
loud.
pretty good. Once you
On
close
and
that
off.
once you close that door to that staircase, it's gone.
Go on. Just go on.
So we went to Lomaland.
I think it was my dog, by the way.
I think it was your dog burping or some shit.
my dog is burping.
I don't know. Like dogs are different.
Go on.
So we get to Lomaland, and he gets his coffee, and he's like, "My hangover's over." Then we go through 3-4 flight tasters of different shit.
Are you hammered?
I wasn't. I was getting a little buzzed because I had
They're also
noth-
tasters.
I'd had nothing but here's why. I had nothing but like half a hydro flask.
Okay.
So a 40-ounce one. So I had nothing but water.
Yeah.
And then we tasted some hazies. I didn't taste a lot of them because I didn't like most of them, and the
Yeah.
ones I did like, he also liked.
Yeah.
So he was like, "Cool, mine." Again, he paid for it.
Yeah. Good guy.
Then we tried some stouts. The stouts, of course, have a higher alcohol content,
Yeah.
and I like them more. So I'm taking about half the taster's worth of each one, and we have like 4.
Yeah.
Then we do 2 rounds of one we both bought.
Yeah.
It's great. It's the barbecue beer. I will hope he brings his, but it's called Thermometer Island. It's a great sour.
Ooh.
It's a pretty damn.
I do like a good sour.
It's a pretty damn good sour. Like I should tell this. I'm gonna tell this in a second. It's a pretty damn good sour. We each bought a 22-ounce of it, so we tried it when it was on tap
Oh,
there,
I
of
see.
course, and we're like, "Damn, that's a good choice." He's like, "Yeah, man,
That's tasty.
you made a good choice." And we tried the other stout I bought,
Yeah. Oh, is that the one that we had too?
the coconut. No,
Oh, I don't remember which one.
the one.
The vanilla one?
No, it's a coconut. It's a Modern Times coconut stout. It comes in a can.
I gotta go back there. Shit.
We
I gotta
do.
get that.
They're actually trying a bunch of different stouts right now.
I gotta get a growler worth of that Venus.
I think they
whatever.
don't do growlers. He was telling me he doesn't think they do growlers, which is like, damn, they could make so much goddamn money
Either way.
because I would pay.
Yeah, me too. Anyways, go on.
Oh, so while we're there, I'm gonna transition to the next story, then I'll let it go. I'll let it go. It won't be like host guest hour. While we're there, he tells me about this. I think this is a story I was saving for later. Earlier, that was a lot of words. So he tells me about this app called Untapped.
Oh.
Have you heard of Untapped?
No, I haven't.
It's
heard of it.
basically a beer review. It's a user used beer review.
No way.
app.
That's pretty cool.
So I don't know if I should throw this out there, but what your Instagram name is?
It's fine. I don't care.
So your Instagram name is Matt Who Plays Music. Now me and Rogelio are both shitheads. What's worse is we don't have.
Did you use my Instagram name?
No. It gets better than that.
No.
me and Rogelio together with that one of you two moderating us are worse shitheads. So he says. So we're thinking he's like, dude, be Matt Who Plays Music.
I fucking hate you guys. Oh my god.
So right now
Please tell me that Orgio was the rubbin.
Right now, my untapped user handle is not _ Matt Who Plays Music.
Oh my god. What the fuck?
I love it. Oh man, this is amazing.
Maybe if I make one, I should be like definitely _ Matt.
Matt
Who
Who
Plays
Plays
Music.
You should absolutely do that.
That'd be pretty funny.
Now,
actually.
here's what brings it together to the 2 sentences you guys said before I started talking about the shit talking to each other's faces.
Oh, that's right.
While
That was the
we
thing that
are
happened at the beginning
there-
of the podcast.
While we are there, Rogelio is unloading on Matt impersonations. Totally.
To be fair, he does.
He
do
does.
that.
He does do Matt.
He is great
does that
at
in front of
voices.
me.
He's great at impersonations.
You got no swag.
Like-
no money,
No
no
swag.
swag, got no
Like-
education.
Yeah, there's always one that's too real at the end. It's no
Yeah,
blank,
definitely.
no swag. Then
No point in life.
then
Oh, God.
fuck. That one
like
hurts.
no wife. He's 45, still a virgin. Wait, what?
Anyways.
So what brings it all together is he was unloading on Matt
He
impersonations.
started doing them before too. It's pretty.
And
gross.
he's get going with them, and they're pretty funny. And the worst part is he giggles about them. Like,
wait, what?
I start laughing, and he starts laughing. Like he knows they're good.
Yeah.
So I just wrap it all up with the whole we talk shit to each other.
Yeah.
But
That's right. That was the beginning of this long ass.
what's even better is we talk shit about someone else in the group to the other person in the group. But then we also bring the person we're kind of shit talking in on it as well.
And then we all
Yeah.
laugh.
We all laugh. Like it's not like
Well-
a genuine dude, I don't like Matt. I don't
How's
think
it going,
No,
dude?
should we
not at all. It's
should
like-
we be friends with Ruben?
Oh my god. Hey.
Like-
Whoa, wait, what? Guys, but
The answer is no.
it was funny.
but
It was funny.
The joke was great.
but
I
but
thought, okay.
but that's how we are. We don't
Anyways.
have this secret
No, not at all.
dude. Let's conspire against Matt.
No, not at all.
Let's get him drunk
Yeah.
and take him to work.
Dude, I
to
think
talk to all the people he knows.
the worst I would do to Matt is get him so drunk that he would be wearing a thong at work. Like
I think
that-
we've already. I mean.
I think the
am
worst
in
part
just
is I think the
thong?
worst part is the people at work would not see him any differently. Like they know he's
They wouldn't see the thong anyway.
they know he's goofy and outgoing, but I
Yeah.
don't think they would be like, I'm changed. I don't know who Matt is.
So let me-
We have
let-
one coworker who would tell freaking everyone who came into this. It's like, hey, Matt, you know that guy Matt?
You know what this guy does? And I'd be. And it's already funny. I know
He
someone.
gets drunk, comes to work, and wears a thong
I already know,
on
like.
his forehead.
And you know what's funny? And you know
Which
what's-
and Matt would probably not have a thong anywhere near his forehead. But this coworker would say
Yeah.
the thong was on
No,
his
no.
forehead.
But the best part is that if someone come in and be like, "Is this true?" I'd be like, "Yeah, it's true."
Just because there's no fighting it at that point, because half the town knows.
I mean,
Yeah.
Coronado's weird, dude. Like, there's, everyone knows everyone.
But going back to your previous statement, real
Yeah.
quick.
Oh no! Which previous
me-
statement on
Yeah.
a tangent of
No,
a
no,
previous
just-
statement
just
on a
the-
tangent
just the
of
whole
another
idea-
previous statement?
Just the whole idea of just being able to laugh at yourself a little bit.
I
And,
mean, yeah.
Because
If your best friends can't roast you, who can?
Well, I was gonna say because there are times when people are intending to offend you, and
Yeah.
then there are times where it's just meant to be a joke.
Yeah, like when I call Nico a hoodlum, it's not because I'm like, "Oh, you're I can't trust you." It's
Oh,
more like,
you dirty
it's,
Ventura-born hoodlum!
You Ventura County heathen. No, it's because it's because you literally walk around your physical walk is hoodlum and I remember at some point he was walking through campus with his hood on, looking like
I
the
remember
fucking,
that, yeah.
looking like the fucking Unabomber, and I was like, Jesus Christ, dude.
I have a
Nico.
friend. We would sit next. You know him,
Tyler?
Tyler, the clarinet
Yeah.
player.
Oh yeah.
We would sit next to each other in physics, and he'd come in tired, having a bad day. I'm like, Tyler, you look like the school shooter. Because think about him. He's tall, he's white, he's skinny, he has glasses. Nothing against the guy. He's a smart dude. He's actually doing for the civilian side of what nukes do. So he's handling nuclear fuel material,
Wow.
right? Doesn't have a fucking degree. He's making like 17 an hour out in Idaho. Like for someone without like a bachelor's degree and spending all that money, he's making it, you know?
Yeah.
So he's doing that. He's not a dumb dude. He's not gonna fly up.
He just happens to look like a Unabomber.
He just happens to look like, after his glasses and being tall and being white and skinny, he looks like he's like, don't come to school today, fam. except
Hey, I like you, kid. Go home. Jesus Christ, I can't get over that.
And
story.
also, we sat next to each other in physics, a
Yeah.
very demanding class where we were like, fuck this.
But it's funny.
I like
'cause
how
now,
we're laughing
now
about this, too.
it's funny
This is
because
like
like now
this-
every time he mentions that guy, he's like, yeah, you know, the guy who looks like a school shooter. And I'm just like, I never thought of that.
Oh,
he looked
and,
like
and
that,
when he's
but,
tired,
you know.
when he was tired and like done with the class or
Yeah.
not happy,
Yeah.
he would come wearing a hood. He had this purple hoodie with no. He had a gray hoodie with a hood with like a black hood.
Oh god.
And I'm like, Tyler, you know we're friends, right?
like, please don't kill me.
You're my only friend in this class, dude.
Oh, you know
You're
know
like,
something.
I sat next to you by choice.
Like, you know something fun is coming up once you hear, like, you know I'm your friend, right?
Yeah, right.
I would
like Matt, you know, like, you know I'm your friend, right? Like this
as he
Fuck
as he
your girl.
this
as
this podcast is getting a little out of whack, man. Oh, dude, you do not want to hear me even remotely get close to any statement remotely like that, because
like I fucked your girl.
yeah, like if you hear anything close to that,
Hey,
you
Matt,
need,
we're
you need
friends.
to be wary.
Yeah.
Like,
hey Matt, we're friends. You know you're not at Matt's house at that point. You're at Ruben's house, and
like,
everyone else is downstairs.
Whoever I am dating happens to be upstairs naked in Ruben's bedroom.
and meanwhile, there's Sabrina, like,
Currently making out with Sabrina.
yeah, like no, I was gonna
just
say,
to
like,
add
no,
insult to injury.
I was gonna say, like, there she is, like, Ruben, what the fuck are you doing? And I'm just sitting there like, hold
I'm
on,
making a point.
I'm making a point. Okay, it's for a reason.
No, babe, I'd never do that to you.
No, I don't think you would either. Like honestly, seeing like
That's damage control for the one listen.
our one list.
Fuck.
No, but in all honesty, like I think seeing the two of you guys in your relationships, I'm like, you know what? It's good that I have friends that are in mature
Just goes
relationships.
back and forth.
But Carlos too, you know. But it's really interesting.
And I think for you, it's like you're definitely showing signs of like you're wanting more. You want,
I do.
You want more in a
I haven't
relationship.
found
what
it
the
yet, though.
Fuck is going on?
I just haven't found the person that I'm like, all right, I'm
Honestly.
ready to do this with you, because, you know, there's a lot of personal stuff there. But
Yeah.
anyways, I don't know. I'm also not rushing it anymore, because it's like if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, I know what I like. I know what I don't like. Oh man,
That was a beautiful transition to what we're about to talk about next.
bodily gases.
Like
Is this
my
not
si-
the-
my
is this not the
singed hair.
first- is
No,
this
Oh
not the-
yeah, your singed hair.
That's right.
Let's get to
I was
that.
gonna say, is this about the first time I slept at Matt's house? But no, do the cinch hair before we lose that
Yeah,
again.
okay.
dear God.
So
Jesus Christ, you sound like you're gonna throw up.
as
You're
we
gonna
brought
throw
up,
Nothing yet.
Okay.
as we mentioned before,
One more.
I was in Texas the last a few weeks ago.
How did you singe your arm here?
My father is a very handy man. He's a very handy man.
Stop it.
He can
Stop it.
oh my god. He will make something, right? And if you can't make it, then what the fuck
What
are
a-
you doing over there,
You know what's
man?
funny? We're gonna look back at the audio and be like, "Oh, that's what he was saying."
Yeah. Okay.
That's
so
kind of half the reason I'm doing it too.
quickly touching up on that. We none of us have a monitor.
Yeah. None of
today.
us have headphones on right now either because we didn't have enough.
Yeah. So basically, we're all like screaming at each other.
Yeah, I'm worried about the sound quality to be honest, but I think we'll be okay.
Yeah. I'm just gonna have to really touch this up. Like each one of us has popped like 20 times
Really?
every like 10
Shit.
minutes.
Even from this distance?
Yeah.
Really?
You
Yeah,
told
like,
me
you,
that
you just popped just like not even. a few
you
seconds ago.
told me to kiss this thing.
No, you're fine. You like the first time you've popped was just like 20 seconds ago.
Weird.
We have really good mics. We have really good recording mics.
I think you and I just need to learn how to slowly
No
get
such
louder
thing.
as we.
No such thing.
Back to the singed hair.
Anyways, cinch story.
You and your ASMR crap.
Okay, finish the cinch
It's
story.
also that
We're gonna
point.
lose it for the second episode,
It's literally your fault.
and you're gonna have to get me drunk again.
Stop talking. Go.
Oh,
Cinch story. Don't worry about it. Shut up.
That's my favorite question. What is this?
My
It's
dick.
like so. So my dad's a very crafty man, and he thinks that his son follows closely in his footsteps.
Oh, your
Granted,
dad,
I
yeah.
do,
You
I
kinda
do,
do, yeah.
I do like to tinker. I do like to just do or build shit.
Yeah.
And so because of that, he also assumes that I have the same strength that he does.
Oh,
right?
like arm strength and stuff.
Yeah, and so
Gotta do push-ups with me.
You want
Ruben.
to arm wrestle me,
so there was
son?
one
Join
point
the
where he's all
army.
like, Ruben, can you pick up the bike? He's talking about a motorcycle. He's like,
Oh my
can you pick up the
God.
bike and move it over?
And
over
Ruben's
here?
like, I went to Berkeley. I go to California.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm limpy little, and he's all like, oh, you could do it, son. Like how much do
He
you weigh?
legitimately wanted you to lift the thing.
Like
up.
not like it's like the Superman or something like that.
Deadlifted?
But he's just all like, it was on like a plaque.
Like overhead
Oh, okay.
squat.
And
like
so he was all like
Olympic
lift.
lifting.
He's all like lift up one side so that we can take it off the plaque and then move it, right?
Oh.
And so he's like, well, Ruben, how much do you weigh? And I'm like, Dad, I can't lift my weight. Like I'm that
much you weigh?
I'm that out of shape.
How much
right?
do you weigh?
I weigh like 200. Like
Yeah,
I,
okay.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
like,
bring
like,
it to
like
200.
I'm really out of shape, and so I was like, Dad, I can't lift my weight. That's not something that I'm able to do.
I can't lift your weight either.
Yeah,
Are we talking bench press or like leg lift?
like,
Oh, I was
just
talking
at
about.
all,
I was
right?
talking about bench press.
I could probably lift your weight like with my legs though, not like
Legs,
arms.
yeah.
Yeah, legs.
Because
legs
think
are
about
different.
it.
But the thing was is that like the part that I had to grab it by was because there was it was either the front, which the only place I could find to like really get a grip on it was the wheel, which that's road like that
That moves.
moves, and then the back.
Jesus.
That's not a grip if it moves.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, and so then the back it was by the light, and I felt like I was gonna break it, so I'm trying to find anywhere that is solid that I
Not
can.
the light,
Yeah, anywhere
yeah.
that's not the light, right? So at this point, I'm like lifting something, and I'm feeling a little give, but I'm still lifting it, and I'm so scared that I'm just kind of like, and he's all like, come on, Ruben, just move it, right?
Don't be a bitch.
Yeah, don't be a little bitch, right?
God damn it.
And
Yeah.
so he's all like, okay, here, I'll take care of this. Can you go
Can we get
light?
some water?
No, can you go
That's that
light?
great
Can you
army
go light the grill in the
caring
back? I was like,
understanding.
okay, I can do that.
Yeah.
Right. So I walked over, I grabbed the big bag of coal, right?
Yeah.
I tossed that over my shoulder because that was like way lighter than a fucking
Than a
bike.
motorcycle.
Yeah. So I lift that over my shoulder. I walk over to the back, and I basically dumped the whole thing in there because I guess he wanted to use all of it just to get rid of it. And I use the lighter fluid on it, and
Yeah.
then I light it, but it like dies out really quick.
Oh, so you put more lighter fluid?
Yeah,
on?
so I put a little bit more on it, right?
That's how you die.
I turned around to go and grab the lighter. I didn't see that one of the kids squirted more in there, and then put it back with them. I don't know how I didn't see that.
That's pretty sneaky.
That is pretty sneaky, right? And I'm just sitting there like, you little deviants, right? And so, and of course, I didn't tell them. I told them like I put too much, just because
you
you
want
know.
the kids to control.
So,
That's nice. That's awfully nice of you.
You're like,
Oh my
I'd
God.
rather be considered less slightly dumb than
Dude,
be like,
fuck that.
then be like,
I would've
hey,
yelled at the
kid,
kids
get your
myself.
kid.
well, I
get
mean,
your
like they're
ass
4 and
torn into.
6,
Oh.
like they're
They don't even have the comprehension.
yeah,
Yeah,
they
fair
they didn't know
Sorry,
that I
I
was
thought
gonna
they were
happen.
like 10ish.
No.
They're like deliberately
they
like,
were
let's
really young,
fuck
so I
this
was
guy.
just like, it's not worth it, right?
Yeah.
And so like, so basically, I took the candle lighter we were talking about,
Yeah.
that one with the long thing, right? And I was like, okay, you know, it's
remember
gonna
this
have a
one.
little bit of flame to it, right?
It'll be
He
fine.
just walks out the door, and I light it, and the whole like the entire like 5 feet around the grill
Yeah.
goes up in flames, and it like basically like the whole front half of me and my arm is consumed in the flame.
Jesus.
Right? So basically like I back up in time to move like my
Yeah,
head.
like how you did a dab right
Yeah,
there when you're trying to do that.
I basically like dab my head out of the way, right? And just in time too, because the whole as the flame consumed my arm and I backed up, obviously it's gone, but
Yeah,
I look at my
yeah.
arm, my whole arm is white.
Was the hair?
It was just all the hair. All the
Oh,
hair
okay.
had been burnt, right?
Okay.
And so
You're
like
lucky,
my
dude.
huh?
You're lucky.
I know, right? And so like I'm just
Yeah,
like
you
I'm
could have like 3rd-degree burns.
Yeah, dude, that was pretty dangerous.
I'm just
Those
sitting
damn
there thinking like,
kids.
holy
So
shit.
you know, it's funny that you say that like these kids were like past the point of like being able to comprehend, but they could comprehend the fact that it's like
They
that's
can comprehend.
dangerous.
They
Well-
can comprehend lighter fluid. Ow.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like
Well-
they should be able to comprehend like don't do that. That's how people get hurt.
Well, that's why like I
I
talked
have
to them
something to say
after
about
about
that.
it. I was
Okay,
like,
I have something to
was
say
like,
about
hey,
that
you
in
know,
like five
don't,
minutes when he's done.
Yeah, like don't do
Don't
that.
do that. Yeah, you gotta die.
Because I don't know if you see this. This is the good. This is the
They're
good
already
version.
growing back.
Yeah,
There you go.
that happened when I first got there.
Oh, really? Okay.
And
It's
so,
been like what, 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
yeah. It's been about
so-
2.5
Damn, you hairy man. Your
yeah.
father was like kind of bitch to raise, fucking light himself on fire on a grill. Then he saw the hair grow back. He's like, "That's
All
a
right.
man.
That's
That's a
my
man."
son.
Your former army father.
But the story develops just a little bit more because remember how I said that like I dabbed my hair out of the like I dabbed myself out of the way.
Yeah. Was some of your hair burned off?
It wasn't a noticeable amount, just noticeable enough that I noticed it like in the
Yeah.
mirror, and I was just like I have to cut it.
As someone who knows
You cut your hair more? I couldn't even tell.
Oh, actually, well, because when I got back, it was really short. Like,
Really?
I went there and I almost got a buzz cut. Like, it was damn close to a buzz cut.
Yeah.
And so I basically had the whole thing cut off, and
I thought it looked a little shorter, but then
yeah, well,
or it looks at about the same it did when you left.
Yeah.
Which probably would have been a better
was still pretty
indicator.
short.
Which would have been a better
What-
indicator of that you did get
Yeah.
a cut.
Yeah.
Because no one's like, "Hey, you left for I didn't see you for a month. Your hair looks exactly the same as when I
Same.
saw you last time." Either you get your hair cut every 2 weeks, in which case
I
what's your
don't.
job?
Yeah.
What's your job? I need it.
Anyways, go on.
But
Sorry, but I was like, yeah. I did notice your hair was the same. You didn't look different,
I guess that makes sense. Too.
which
I
should have
just
been a
didn't
big
it's actually a
indicator that
different
something
shape
changed.
too, because
notice. It is a little bit.
Yeah.
Because before it was a little more like.
like squarish, but
Yeah,
now
now
it's
it's like
rounded
it's
off.
a little bit. Yeah.
But
Anyways,
yeah, so I cut off like all my hair,
Yeah.
and the thing is that it usually looked like I think you've made this comment
And you
before.
weren't sad because you were like, I'm in Texas. Fuck this.
Oh yeah,
I need no hair. I need no way to retain heat.
He's noticed this before. It's where I come into class and one day I have short hair and one day I have long hair, right? You mentioned before like, did you cut your hair? And I pull my hair down and it's like down
Same
here.
length.
I think it might have to do with the changes in hats.
But
Or like
that's-
sometimes there's no hat, sometimes there's a hat, sometimes there's styling, no styling.
but sometimes I wear my hair back in a way that makes it look like it's short.
yeah.
Like I do that sometimes.
You almost slick it, not
Yeah.
quite slick it,
Yeah, I know
but
what you're
most
talking
of the
about.
way there.
I'm trying to find a better gel for that though. And
Wait, what kind of gel do you
He's
use?
like, I will slick it.
right now I'm using.
I
a
will be
pomade.
Lou
It's a
Diamond
wax pomade.
Phillips.
But
Wow.
that's just because I like the wax. I like how it moves.
I'm
I don't
gonna
like-
show you. I have some hair gel. I'm gonna show it to you. It's called Woody's Hair Clay.
Mhm.
Pretty good. I'll let you borrow some.
Thank you. But yeah, so like sometimes I wear it back so that way it would seem shorter, and then sometimes I would wear it forward so it seems long. But that way, so that way it helps out for work. So that way I can have my work look, and then I can go out
Yeah.
and do my.
Not work.
Well, I was gonna say like my shows. Like
okay.
I go out and do rock shows or whatever.
Oh wait, really quick. You know, it's kind of funny. The other day, I actually decided to comb my hair,
Oh yeah.
and I came into work, and one of my coworkers, it was Guillermo, one of my coworkers, and I came in, and one of my coworkers was like, "Oh, you cut your hair? What happened? Why'd you cut it?" I was like, "I didn't cut it." He's like, "What?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I just combed it."
Me too.
My bad.
Yeah.
Fun
What?
fact: when Matt doesn't do his hair at work, he wears a hat,
Yes.
and when Matt wears a hat, he wears it backwards.
And
Yes.
and when Matt wears a hat,
I used to do that a lot when I was surfing more.
When Matt wears a hat, you can assume he didn't.
Get out of
shower.
the
When
ocean, you're
he
like,
was-
my hair's not gonna work.
When
right
he
now.
was
Matt,
surfing
is
and
the-
he
is the
was
hat the
smoking
indicator that
weed
you
and
did not
didn't care.
Shower that day?
No, it's more like, oh, I just didn't want to do my hair.
Which was the one that?
It's
is
both.
the-
It's both, to be honest, though.
Oh yeah. Okay.
It's both of those.
Just making sure. Just for my own personal reasons.
Anyways, go on.
Oh,
Continue your story.
Okay. No, that was pretty much the end of it. I basically had to like regrow my left arm hair.
I mean, it already grew back pretty fast.
I was why like during the last conversation. I was
He's
looking at
waiting
it, I
for
was
us
like,
to talk about it.
Oh,
He's like, "Hey, Ruben,
Your
you're
arm is a
I
little
measured
shorter.
I
measured the
measured the
exact
hair
length.
on your left arm, and it's
Yeah.
about a quarter of an inch shorter."
It wouldn't even be a quarter of an inch. It'd be like a 16th of an inch.
And that's the story of how Ruben singed his hair.
Yeah,
and how
that's-
some little shit kids. No, I'm kidding.
Hey, whoa, that's my
Yeah,
siblings, man.
Oh, okay. So, fun fact.
Oh.
The
What?
idea of kids can't understand consequences, I
Mhm.
feel like that's the idea behind spanking. Because you can't teach them, hey, you're going to hurt someone else.
Yeah,
But you can teach them,
like,
hey, if you
do
fuck this up, I'm going to smack you.
Yeah.
Oh.
Which is why I do kind of understand spanking.
I understand it.
Like, I was spanked as a kid.
I was
I was heavily spanked as a
I was
kid.
Yeah.
I got
smacked
the belt.
yesterday. No, I'm kidding.
Like, my mom beat the shit out of me this morning.
My mom came home.
This fucking fly, get that.
I know.
There's
it's
a moth.
It's going around.
There's a
everywhere.
moth.
There's like 3.
I love you say it's going around like a cold. Like, now it's coming
That
for
is-
me.
That's it. Well,
It's
it
coming
is.
for
It
my
kind of is.
it's coming for my bottles and
Wait,
my
I almost got it.
glass over here.
I'm really curious to see how the sound quality comes out on this.
We're gonna find out.
I feel like in 2018 and with the MacBook Pro, we're good.
But Ruben also has to do all the touching up on it.
Yeah, I mean, in all
Like
honesty,
half the point of this podcast
Listen.
is that it's not hard to do.
like,
Listen,
like,
we're
I'll be-
still
What
in.
it works.
We still have mics right in front of our face.
like, I'll be completely honest with you guys. I don't like go in and heavily touch these up just because I'm like I'm trying to get them up because when we were first doing this, I just wanted content up.
Also, we're not like in Musicians Hall where it's like, hey.
Echo.
Yeah, it's not like echo everywhere. It's like
But the ceiling is still high. It's something to be concerned about. Granted, there's some sound.
you have a lot
dampening
of
things around it.
soft material.
Also, these episodes have gotten a lot longer, and I don't have 2 hours a day to
Fair enough.
to sit through.
Yeah.
These sound like excuses.
You know
Shut
what?
up.
You're right. You're right.
I love how Ruben gave me this look. Like you're right.
You're right.
He's being sarcastic, but Matt went right straight to shut the fuck up.
I don't know. I
Hey,
get what you mean.
Nico, I was waiting for you to tell the story about this.
Okay, so this happens to be Ruben grabbing his stomach and jiggling it,
Yeah,
Jiggle, jiggle.
that was a funny day.
and Matt has
So-
replied like so.
So it's really funny because, you know, all the stories we tell about us in our theory and our oral skills class, it makes it sound like we don't do shit.
Have you told the Smarties house story yet?
The what?
The Smarties house
story.
Oh,
tell the
my
stomach
God,
story.
I completely
Tell the
forgot.
stomach story, and I'll tell the Smarty story and make myself look like
I
a
don't remember.
jackass.
Okay, well, I
Oh,
just remember,
you weren't super involved in the
Smarty house?
in the stomach story.
Not too much. I just remember at some point, Ruben, I had looked over and Ruben was grabbing his belly and he was like, he's just shaking it around like, oh!
Well, okay.
What happens is
Pretty rhythmically.
the
too, my
three of
man.
us will sit in
I
the
was.
front row.
Yeah.
Mind you, the front row is usually A+ students. We're not A+.
I mean, did you,
We're
what
all
was your grade?
we're all border
Wait,
A.
what was your
I
grade?
don't remember.
I got an A surprisingly.
We're all border
I
A.
think I was just shy of an A.
We're
I think
either- we're all either
that first
bored-
project fucked me over.
Yeah, same. Well, actually, no. The atonal project.
I
fucked
think
me
the-
Oh
over.
really?
Yeah.
I think the atonal quiz fucked
Yeah,
me over.
yeah.
Oh, I actually fucked up the last quiz. The
No,
last quiz
same.
was the last
I
quiz
think
was
I
the only
messed
one.
up.
I think I was
fucked
I
a hard
passed that
quiz.
one,
up.
but
Was.
Surprisingly.
because it was so different from everything else.
Yeah,
what
because everything
happened-
else was like, oh, how do you use the function of all this stuff?
So we are
Oh
replacing.
no, I was talking about the one we're having. You have to.
No, I mean
identify-
everything
love
else
the
was like, oh, how to
semester's
use
over.
the function
They're
of this
still
stuff.
talking
And
about
then the
it.
last quiz was like,
Yeah.
Who is this gonna-
memorize.
Yeah.
Sabrina, did you take the quiz? I'm glad you have to hear Matt and Ruben talk about it. Oh, I brought them back.
Anyways,
So the seating arrangement changes based on who gets there first.
kind of, yeah.
So Matt and
yeah.
Ruben have they more or less take turns being late. So it must have been one of the days. And
No, you're not wrong.
I have a class earlier in the morning, starting at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
So I'm
you're
always there early because I'm like, fuck it, I don't have anything else to do
That's
besides
'cause
go to this class.
What I started doing was I started practicing at my house in the morning instead of going to Southwestern.
Name drop your college.
Who
Anyway,
cares?
so
We've name dropped it before.
yeah, let's name drop our college. 2 people listen to this, right?
Yeah, like
So
three.
it must have been a day where
maybe
Ruben,
three.
where Ruben got there before Matt, because Ruben sat Ruben sat in the middle,
Yeah.
which means I got there. Ruben sat next to me. Was
And
like,
then I said,
when we're like, "Where's Matt?" I don't know. He's gonna walk in 20 minutes in.
shut
20
up. It was not that
25
bad.
minutes. In.
25.
It was no,
We
30.
were timing it. We were timing it.
So
you guys
I-
fucking suck.
So we're doing something somewhat academic because that's what made it so noteworthy. We're doing something somewhat academic, something that required focus. And I look over, and Ruben has his
belly out.
belly. I look over, and he's just shaking.
I'm
Not a worry in the world. He could have been in class. He
I'm
could have
gripping- I'm
he
gripping
could have
it
been
like Santa
anywhere
Claus would.
else in the world
Yeah.
doing that, and
Yeah.
it would have been less out of place. But I look over, and he's. I'm
just-
I'm
he's just shaking
pantomiming it because my stomach's full right now, and I have to.
Oh my
I'm
God.
And then
starting.
it's funny because he looked over at me.
And then
The
I
exact
look.
same thing.
Ruben looks over at Matt, and I look past Ruben at Matt because I'm like, "What are we gonna do about this?" And then Matt then grabs his belly and starts shaking up and down as well. And I realize,
in rhythm.
fuck
too.
me for not having a little bit of a beer belly.
And then you were like, oh, fuck me. My friends are idiots.
No.
Fuck me. What are we doing in the first
hold on.
row?
It got better just because the teacher of the class, like her seat.
She didn't notice.
No, she was right in front of us, right?
Yeah.
So she's right in front of us, and usually she sees this shit,
She
right?
did all the stupid shit we do.
Okay, she didn't see you. She made eye contact with me. She made eye contact with me in
I
the middle.
tot-
I looked up and she saw me doing that.
I
was
totally missed this.
No, yeah, like I think she was in the middle of it, and as she's talking, I see her look over.
Oh,
at me,
I
and
remember
look,
that. Yeah, she's
I
like,
look up at her.
I love
and
her.
I'm just like,
Really
I was just like, oh fuck.
Here I am.
Oh no.
still doing it. Still doing it.
I
And
know.
now
I don't stop. I keep going. I look up
he's
at
like,
her.
I'm committed.
I give her this look of like I'm not sorry, and she just kind of like looks at me like I
respect your
no
decision.
no. See, the thing was is that I
Like, you
I had
fucker,
fought-
I have a PhD.
I fought to get into the class. Like I was like,
Oh,
like,
that's
listen,
right.
man, listen, ma'am, I am.
I went to Berkeley.
I love
I-
the idea of you going up to her and say, "Listen, man." Like,
No,
like
I said, ma'am.
I know, but the first time he said "man" because he misspoke.
Yeah.
But I love the idea of you going up there. Listen,
man.
listen, man. I went to
man.
Berkeley. Look at my $5,000 laptop.
No, it's just
This
like
is the Berkeley edition. Do you have the Southwest? Do you have the Northwestern edition?
She'd be like, yeah, it's called a book, and you'd be like, oh shit.
Yeah,
oh
you.
shit.
Yeah, you want to see this diploma?
No, but like I
Ooh.
came up to her about like I'm sorry that you know that like I'm coming into this program all late. I really need to be in this last class because I have been really working hard on learning how to I don't even know how to dumb that down. Basically I've tried to study.
Don't
It's
dumb
like a
it down.
theory
It's just Sabrina. She's smart.
that
She does music.
damn okay. But yeah, so it's like I've
And
been
don't
going.
insult your girlfriend.
You know, there's some times where I still forget about that. Where it's just like I hope that a lot more people try to listen to it.
It's probably not.
Like,
That's the goal.
The goal is to try to I don't know if
Up my
if
Facebook
my
budget.
advertising team would get on their.
I just said up my Facebook budget.
Anyways,
Dude,
But
my
yeah.
cousins can listen to this.
at
no,
least-
yeah, anybody.
My
but,
grandmother.
but
no, there you go.
She'll be
I went
proud
up to
and
Dr.
ashamed
McGregor
at
and
the
I'm just
same
like,
time.
please let me in, and I will test in it. I will do the work. I don't care if I have to
Yeah.
do all 3 semesters of work in one semester. Just
Let me do
like,
this.
Like I'm coming in with that attitude, and she's
And
like,
you
"Would
shake
you like
your
to take?"
belly.
No, and her whole thing was like, "Just take the test. Show me you can keep up, and you're in." And I was like, "Yeah,
Okay.
can you just give me like a few months to just kind of like try to brush up on stuff?" She's like, "Yeah," and she gave me the test, and I looked at it, and there was one thing I didn't know,
What was
and
it?
it was the Neapolitan chord.
Oh.
This
And
guy.
that-
Oh, that's right.
And that-
and that's
that
how
was-
we sat in the whole third semester.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole third, because that was the one chord that was
Yeah,
it
you were
was
like, what the
That's
fuck
right.
is
You
this?
Wait,
you
where's
go
their
to like
end?
one class a month, waiting for you. Like, oh, we're not talking about that, and you went. I wouldn't
you would
see you for
leave.
another month. I'm like, are you? Like, I'd see you. I'm like, hey, Ruben,
Where'd it go?
are you here? You're not here. Like, what
No,
the-
Yeah.
I came in whenever I had time.
And I felt
because
and
I had
then-
another
see,
class. that
but
would
we
get
have
canceled.
some people who they'll come in, they'll start the semester, and then they'll drop off. So I'm like, is Ruben like having
One of those
issues?
people?
Like, is
Oh.
Ruben having issues like these people did? So I wouldn't question it.
Yeah.
And so when you suddenly pop into our lives like constantly this fourth semester
Yeah.
is when
Well, that's because in theory.
now we have a podcast.
Yeah.
Or now you guys have a
Yeah.
podcast and I need a
Yes.
Facebook budget.
Well, it's funny because like in music theory, I've noticed that like it's a lot of people being like, "Oh yeah, I play music. This will make sense."
I can do music. It's easy.
And then they listen, and then they're like, "Oh shit, this
Like,
is what I thought it
oh,
was."
I gotta be awake in a music class.
Yeah,
what are you
because
talking about?
theory's weird. Where it's
This
like,
isn't
It's
what
literally the mathematical. Is that the right word?
I'd say the linguistics.
It's the math. Yeah.
Because
it's
think
the
about it,
linguistics
it's
of music.
it's formatted like a language. There's a
Yeah.
written and a spoken
Yeah.
part.
And then it's also like familiarize yourself with like.
Thank you for putting that in the words.
Yeah.
I've never been able to word
Yeah.
that
Because
correctly.
think
And
about it,
it's
you have
also,
oral
like-
skills and ear
Yeah.
training. That's the spoken.
right,
Yeah.
right.
And then
Fair
you
enough.
have the theoretical
linguistic,
on
yeah.
paper linguistics.
Yeah.
Written.
Yeah. And it's also kind of like Dr. McGregor says. It's like opening up the hood and being
Dr.
like, oh,
Dean
this is how-
McGregor.
Yeah.
This is how you. Oh yeah, she's gonna be a dean soon.
She's
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
tear our assholes apart.
I
Just
you swear.
name
But
dropping her.
Going
swear.
going back
She's
to
never
her-
gonna hear this, but on the off chances, she's like, "Hey, someone name dropped you in a podcast
podcast
with 2 other listeners."
With 2 losers.
and she said they're like, these are my students.
And she's gonna be like, oh, that dumbass used to take lessons with my husband.
Okay, are we done with the
Wait,
whole,
wait,
with the
hold
whole
on.
belly
I'm,
story?
Yeah,
I'm just gonna.
We have a
gonna,
Smarties story to
but
tell.
right.
but basically it was just
Another
like
apology to issue to McGregor.
I
We
was just-
appreciate,
Oh,
believe it or
yeah,
not, we
let me
did
speak, let me
appreciate
speak,
her
yeah.
a lot.
I appreciate
Yeah.
the hell out of that woman. She's a great teacher.
she's a great woman.
I love her as a
Like
teacher.
some college professors don't give a fuck.
She does.
Like you walk into a college math class, 50% of the time you get someone who's like, I'm collecting a paycheck. She was like, I don't
want you to
I don't give a
pass.
fuck if you turn this in. Well, she did, but it's like I don't give a fuck if you turn this in like 3 months late. When you get it, and I want to get you there.
Yeah.
And I want to get you there. I want to get you prepared. I don't want to fuck you over.
Especially if you were the kind of student who like
'Like,
I
if
feel
you were
she could tell-
like, there
she
was,
could
like-
tell she could tell if you were the kind of student who
who
was
just
like
needed more time,
Yeah,
or it's
or
like,
was like,
I
I
don't
just
give a
don't
fuck.
get it.
I'm sitting
I
here
just
because
don't
my
get it.
major
Yeah.
says I need to be.
Exactly. And like I feel like I remember at some point I made the joke where I was like I'm dropping out and she was like don't you dare I will hunt your ass down. I was like oh shit.
Because she
I
knew,
didn't- I
she
didn't
knew
know
you
that.
were
Yeah.
worth keeping around. You
Yeah.
weren't just like, when's the time?
When's the class? I
When's
played,
the
like,
class over?
Yeah.
And
Well,
what's the
'cause she-
minimum I need to pass this to
when
keep my
she
major?
talked about music, I want to be able to talk about music the way she would.
Passionate.
Like,
A
with
part of that
such
is music
fervor.
appreciation because she also teaches that 105.
No, I
class.
don't even mean just that.
Oh,
Well, yeah,
sorry.
but I also mean like the way she would talk about theory and like the excitement she had behind it. I'd be like, I want that. That's how I want to teach my kids when I get to that, when I get to.
Just gonna briefly conclude this story. It's like this is
Sorry.
like this woman is a very respectable.
She's a
woman.
very-
can we,
Very-
can we
very
agree upon
much.
that? Yeah.
None of us, I don't think any of us would be able to have understood music theory to the extent that we do currently without Dr. McGregor.
And so like I go in not knowing who this person
There-
is, and I already
Yeah.
get this feeling of like she knows her shit. And
You
she's
hear
a
the
little
word.
intimidating.
You hear
She
the
is
word.
very
You hear
intimidating.
the words Dr. McGregor. You think just the Mick. Like I feel like it's a very like. That's a very formal sounding name.
It is.
Especially when you put a doctor in front of it. I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
like I expected. Like I didn't know who because my first experience with her was I needed a class waived
Yeah.
because I'm like, hey, I want to take.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
So music theory is broken up into two parts at the college level: theory, where you learn the written,
yeah. the
the
words
written part of
yeah.
it. I feel like there's a better word for that. Written,
No,
and then
like
there's
the
the
notation.
oral
It's the
skills,
notation.
which notation,
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. the
rules, theory itself.
Yeah.
Similar to how there's like physical theory or physics or the rules
Yeah.
of it, the laws of it.
Yeah, the way it works.
Then there's
Why it
like
works the way it works.
the oral part of it, so like a
It's
language.
like listening to it, being
There's
able to sing it, being
listening,
able
there's
to identify it.
identification, there's the skills you have internally. Oh shit, he's still here. I forgot about that.
My dog.
Yeah, he was quiet for a long time. Anyway, I wanted to take the oral part of it, the
Without
oral
yeah.
AURAL, so the
Oral.
linguistics listening skills part of it. The hey, I'm gonna play a pitch and you're gonna identify
I need to be
it
able to sing a major
within a
scale.
context.
so
Yeah, you need to
forth.
sing with no prompting other than one note. Right,
Yeah.
I wanted to take that the first level of it
If
without
even one note.
with the first level of that class without taking the first level of the written theory class because
because you're
I had
good.
already taken it previously at high school level, which
Yeah.
thinking about it, that covered through theory 3.
Yeah, it did.
It didn't oral
Did it
skills
cover it
were-
very well though?
oral skills it didn't. Theory up to theory 2, like we went through all the way through 2
Did
like
for part chorales and everything too.
we did that
We did
like,
that-
we did
over,
bass
like,
writing.
over like what fall
Winter break. Yeah.
That
fall break?
Yeah,
sucks.
like
Like we gave us a packet, was like go home, figure this out, and
Mm.
then we came back. He's like, none of you know shit. Okay, I'll explain it, and then we all got it within a
Oh.
week.
That's why you need instruction.
he was really passionate about it too.
But,
I respect
Mabry.
Mr. Mabry. Yeah.
But fuck. Oh, so I wanted one class waived to take the other, and I heard Dr. McGregor. I'm like,
yeah.
Oh.
from
Dude,
Nevin too, and I'm
Dude,
like, shit.
I was at
that-
City. I was at
I'm like,
City.
that's an intimidating name.
I was at City and Wendy Green was like, "Oh, you're at the wrong school. You need to go talk to Dr. McGregor." And I was like, "Who the fuck is
She's
Dr.
like,
McGregor?"
she must be the go-to person.
Yeah,
which
she
means she's
really
important.
is.
Which means I don't want to fuck this up.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know anything about her, and I'm just like, oh.
You
You're
just
like-
got back from Berkeley too.
Yeah, and so I'm
You're
walking,
like,
I'm
you're
walking
a
up-
doctor. Everyone I know is a doctor.
Can we just wait? Can
No,
we just,
I never like felt.
But
like
anyway,
that
I was
either.
really intimidated, and then she creates this like
Yeah.
intellectual yet engaging yet friendly way
Yeah.
to all come together on this plane of like we know she knows it, but she phrases it in a way like we're
It's understood
all
easily.
learning.
Yeah.
Like you are not stupid for not understanding this. Where you walk,
6-4s.
you walk
I
into,
loved it.
like-
I loved it whenever she would talk about credentials because she'd be like, "Oh, it's like a marriage."
you walk into like a physics class that's like you don't get this. You're fucking
Yeah.
stupid. You are the scum of the earth.
Yeah.
Where
You're the
she's like,
scum of the earth.
She's like, "It's okay. I'll help you.
or she's like, if you don't get this, let me know.
I'll help you."
We'll walk through this together.
Yeah.
I teach one way because I find this is the best way for groups. This is the best way to
Yeah.
reach it. Anyone have any questions? And it wasn't like half the class is questions. Well, that means half the class is understand it, so I'm moving on. No, it's like
Does everybody get it?
Everybody get it.
Yeah.
What do you not understand?
Yeah.
You with the one hand in the back
Yeah.
with the stoner friends.
And I'm not gonna lie. As a person who's like, oh sweet, I got this. It's a little frustrating, but like I also have a massive amount of respect for it because it's like,
It's like- 'cause-
one day it's
'cause-
gonna be you.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like,
As a
exactly.
doctorate, as a professor, you don't need to take the time because you're dealing
No.
with fucking adults.
yeah,
Like you go to a university and it's like, if you're in a lower division university class, you're in there with 1,000 people, 300
yeah, they
people,
just drop you.
and they're like,
Great,
you're not
don't get
making
it?
grades.
Go fuck yourself.
Get fucked.
Yeah.
You know.
By
Whereas
the way, I have a really funny story to tell about my first like trombone lesson with Dr. McGregor.
I didn't even get to finish it. Oh
So
my
we
God.
gotta get there at some point.
okay,
Yeah.
let's do this. Let's do the.
Okay.
So let's cap off the whole
Okay, let's
belly.
say-
Let's
Dr.
cap
McGregor-
off the belly.
Let me
Dr.
get-
McGregor's
Let me
great.
get.
Okay,
30, let me
now
get-
let's get to the.
Stop. Let me get 30 seconds of just.
Yes,
Fuck
I
you.
apologize.
Yeah, fuck you.
Do it.
You.
Fuck you. What's your
Tony.
name?
Tony.
Fuck you, Tony.
Fuck you. What's your
Can we get copyrighted for that? Can you lose
I-
money on Spotify for
we'll
that?
find
We're
out.
never gonna make any money anyways.
Hey,
Anyways.
fuck you. He's
I
made
mean,
$2.
Fuck you. Wait, really?
I made $2 from my album. I don't know.
Oh.
what
You
you
ain't
did.
made shit.
I
You
made
maybe
jack.
got a quarter over the last year.
I doubt I made anything.
I'm not making shit because I don't own shit. When you
Anyway.
guys going public with your stock? What's your Nasdaq? What's your Nasdaq? Half a
Don't
penny?
worry, pretty
Half
soon
a
you'll be
penny.
like Alley Cats Incorporated.
Alley Cats Incorporated.
Anyways,
Who
go
owns
Actually,
all of
that's
it?
what he
Nico
meant.
bought all of it for
Um,
$15.
So basically, as you noticed, this is a woman that we really respect. This is a woman that's very intimidating, and I walk up to this woman, and I'm just
She's
like, I
not
need
that
help.
intimidating when you get to know her. Well, no, that's a lie. She's still
I
kind
have
of
not met
intimidating.
her yet, and I'm just like, please, I need to get into this class. And she's like, okay, take the test. I take the test. I guess I pass, and then I go in, and I'm in this class now. And after all of that, after a whole semester of me sitting in on her class, in there attentive and trying to get my shit done, she catches me 3 months in, grabbing my belly,
Shaking your
shaking my belly, and looking at her and going, I am sorry that
But this had to
this
be-
is happening now.
Jesus Christ.
Remember when I begged you that those days are over?
Yeah,
I have a similar story because again, I just explained my first reaction. It's like, hey, can you please waive this one class? I
Oh,
can.
she had you take a test, right?
Yeah, it was basically no. She held a squat in front of me. Name this chord. I'm like, it's an E chord. She's like, no, it's not. I'm like, oh shit. I said it's a G chord. She's like, no, it's not. I'm like, oh sorry, I saw a G and a B together. I thought it was a G chord. It's an E chord in first inversion. And she's like, okay, you passed theory 1.
Basically, I'm not gonna lie.
So my interaction is very much like, hey, can I ask something of you? Like very much like that.
Yeah, just like, please. Can I help-
At someone
get
just
some
small,
help?
at somewhat of a smaller level,
Mm.
but also like, I have a big favor to ask. I don't know what the fuck I'm
Yeah.
doing. I'm 18 years old.
Yeah. So I
Fast
think,
forward.
That's
Fast
how you got
forward.
ahead. I was wondering, like, because like you were in the theory 4 class. I was like, how is he in the theory 4 class already?
yeah, I skipped.
Yeah, no, like I showed up. and I was
Actually,
like, damn.
no, I didn't skip at all. I skipped theory 1, but it was the same. I took oral skills 1 that year, that
Yeah,
semester.
I was in
I
the
didn't-
class with you. We never talked.
I didn't take theory. I didn't take theory the whole first semester, and that allowed me to knock out some GEs, which
Yeah.
is why I have 3 classes left
Yeah,
instead of
and
like 5.
I took a semester off, and I took 1 for just GEs.
So
So yeah, I guess that would catch you up.
So it's kind of similar to your story. So my first interaction with lady was like, "Please help me.
Please do
Can I
not-
ask
yeah.
something of you?" and then like the second to last week of school, so for me to focus again, maybe a failure of the education system. Let's make that a tangent later, maybe
enough.
someday.
Fair enough.
Is for me to learn things. So you taught when you're in class, you write notes.
Yeah.
You do something with your hand. For
Yeah.
me to focus and listen,
Yo, you know, not.
I need to do something with my hands, whether it be like
Just grabbing something-
writing.
Oh, are we getting back to the Smarty story?
Yes, this is Marty's story.
Okay.
Writing, folding a paper,
Mm-hmm.
practicing my signature, whatever.
Yeah.
Just
So she's explaining a rather dense,
Difficult.
something
It's a really-
tactile,
it's a very difficult.
a rather
thing.
dense,
I remember
difficult.
this,
Not even
yeah.
not dense in the sense of like it's a lot of words. I don't
No,
want to
it's
listen.
like-
It's dense as in like
it's hard.
it's complicated. It's not
Yeah.
run of the mill. She's explaining a dense theoretical concept. And at some point earlier in the day, she has 2 daughters in Girl Scouts.
Mhm.
She passes around a bowl of candy.
Mhm.
The class wholesale rejects the Smarties.
Smarties. Yeah.
So we're at the front of the class. So we're at the front of the class, like right next to the teacher's desk. So we get the bowl first.
Yeah.
The
And
bowl.
last-
So that means the
and
bowl has
last-
to come all the way back around. It reaches us. The class wholesale rejects the Smarties. So there's a good amount of Smarties left in this tub in this not tub. It's like a Tupperware
Yeah.
bowl.
Just remembered this whole incident. Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Yeah, it's pretty
So
funny.
I'm listening intently, which means I need to be doing something with my hands. Otherwise, I'm gonna lose it. I'll start
Yeah.
writing. I'll start making. I'll
Random
start
shit.
daydreaming.
Yeah.
I make so. Imagine Jenga, or like Lincoln Logs. I start.
Yeah,
Yeah,
making-
Lincoln Logs, yeah.
I start making Smarties into like a table of like a House of Cards Lincoln Log style.
Yeah. With
That sounds
Smarties.
stupid. But I start making like basically a tower of the Smarties I have, Lincoln Log style. She of course she likes to say she has ADD, but I think she's curious about what's around her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially
Like
when
an
her
intellectual
students are
She
doing
gets,
Not like
she
a,
gets
I physically
distracted, bro.
cannot handle, but like as in a
Like, what's going on
what's
over there?
going on over there?
Yeah.
I'd like to learn more. And she sees me making out. She's like, "Are you seriously making House of Smart?" Class is over.
Yeah.
Like,
that's over.
literally.
No. She's
Oh,
like,
yeah,
No,
She
no.
finishes the sentence like, "Are you seriously making House of Smarts?" Class is over.
Yeah.
And like
Which-
just like that.
By the way, I would like to mention.
Mind you, I'm listening about
Yeah, like,
Nixon
you
in
literally- you were
China.
taking it in.
We're
Oh, yeah.
listening
Oh,
about
that one was-
Neo-Romani
yeah, yeah.
theory. She pulled up the Wikipedia page, how it's a third and third and third.
And I'm looking at-
Ruben was asking about like why are those different colors in this graph of Neo-Romani
Yeah.
theory about
Yeah.
the third. We're talking about how it's different chromatic medians.
Mhm, yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
probably remember more about that lecture than you guys did.
Probably.
Just because I was making the House of Smarties. and
also
because she was like, "What the fuck?"
That shit was funny.
Also, I was kind of trying to look up the cost of a taco truck.
That's right.
And an axe.
God,
You
what is
guys
wrong
tell
with
that
you?
story, and I'm gonna urinate.
Okay,
Okay.
you do that.
Well, anyways, I just wanted to talk about. Well, I mean, I guess I'll talk about my first interaction with Dr. McGregor. It was actually pretty funny because I remember. So her husband is a professional trombone player.
Yeah,
You know, and he also teaches too. He has a master's in.
he does a little something.
He has a double master's, I think, in trombone performance and music education,
Uh-huh.
which is fuck.
Yeah.
But I remember at some point, like, I was taking the brass instruction class because I was like, oh yeah, I could probably get lessons for trombone, right? You know, hopefully, cross your
Yeah.
fingers. Wait, stop it.
It just like
What are you doing?
jiggles.
Anyways, so then Professor Howard, because she was pregnant, she was like, Dr. McGregor is gonna take over your lesson for you, and I was like, okay, shit.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of stories about this one. It'll be fine. It's okay. And my first lesson for her, she's like, okay, hi. She's like, how long have you been playing? Yada, yada. I'm like, oh, this long. I don't know that much. This is this. She's like, okay, well, let's see what you have. And she pulls out, a couple of duets.
Mm-hmm.
And fucking, I'm terrible.
Wow.
I'm messing it up all over the place. And then she's messing up a little bit too, but she's like, oh yeah, I'm really sorry, like, if I'm messing up because, like, she was playing on a French horn.
Mm-hmm.
She's playing trombone duets on French horn. And she's like, oh, I'm sorry, it's because I have to transpose it from here to here, and then, like, I have to do this, and I have to take a fifth down, yada, yada, yada. And then she goes, so I'm really sorry if I keep messing up. And she looks at me and she goes, you have no excuse, though. So, I was like, oh, no. And she's just laying into me, like, you need to be able to practice, you need to be able to do this, and this, your reading's terrible. And I was like,
Oh no, but like I love how she's always like she makes it sound like she's trying to like she makes it sound like it's about to be
Yeah.
offensive, but really it's all constructive.
it's not, and it's kind of funny.
I know it's really it's like
It's like,
I mean
she
it's,
was scolding me, but, like, looking back at it, that's some of the funniest shit I've ever encountered.
it's funny
It's
and it changes your
great.
life too because you're
Yeah.
like I never knew I
that
did
was
that.
was actually my first really big, like, smack in the face. Like, you gotta go.
Yeah.
You gotta get going. You're fucking gonna fall behind.
Which, by the way, that must have really made a difference because when I first met you, I was like, "Holy crap, this guy can play trombone."
No, actually, when you first met me, that was after my breakdown in a practice room.
Wow.
So what happened was that's actually after my jury, my failed jury, where I had my trombone teacher and we were playing a lot of, like, classical stuff, and then finally at some point juries were coming up and he hadn't given me. He was like, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna get you to play this concerto for your jury," and I was like, "Okay, cool," and
I don't know what you're thinking.
huh?
Never mind.
There's nothing in there. and he
Does
goes,
that go to?
"No,
Yes, let's do it.
go grab it."
Sure.
I don't know if I'll split it, but I'll have some of it.
Yeah, I'll drink one.
I'm leaving again.
Okay.
There goes my voice.
Okay. Well, anyways,
shouldn't
so
hide
what
it.
happened was, and also I like to talk about this because it was definitely a moving point in my life, and it was definitely like I'm not ashamed of whatever bad things I've gone through because they've helped shape me as a person. So, anyways, what happened was my teacher kept being like, "Oh, I'm gonna get you this music," and then he didn't get it to me in time. I was like, you know what? I asked him, I was like, "Hey, Mark, what if I play in a Sentimental Mood by Duke Ellington? Is that okay? Like, it's okay if I play a jazz standard?" He's like, "Yeah, that's fine. You know, we'll go over it a little bit. You'll get some feedback from Estrada. I'll be fine." I was like, "Okay, cool." I played in our applied music class or whatever, and it goes over well. And he tells me, like, "Oh, make sure you're paying attention to the chords." I'm like, "Okay, cool." Keep in mind, by the way, at this point, I've only know 2 scales.
Wow.
And not much else. And we hadn't even gotten to scales yet. We were like working on like, okay, flexibility, building up muscle strength, yada yada yada, right? And then I go into my jury, and then like the first, I think I hear is, okay, play me a B flat major scale. I'm like, B flat major scale, sweet. And I play B flat major scale 2 octaves. I'm like, chilling. And then Dr. Nevin, who was there, he goes, "Oh, that was pretty good, but was that B flat or B major or B?" And I was like, "Oh shit!" And on trombone, literally that little half step from B flat to B natural changes everything.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's back a bit there. That guy's not human. He's a fucking genius.
No, that's not what. No, that's not what I'm talking
he like you could have very.
about. I'm not talking
He
about.
will call you out and shit like
No,
that
no,
'cause
that's
he's just
fine.
good.
No, okay, yeah, okay.
Like he's
That's
ridiculous.
not the point of the story. I'm talking about my
Sorry,
breakdown.
I came in halfway through the story, but that guy.
No, he's smart.
Let's
He's a smart
give
man.
that guy props. He's
He's
ridiculous.
a smart man. He's a very smart man. But anyways,
I think you'll I actually like this one.
Yeah. We're talking about beer on the
but
side.
anyways, so what happened was, so I was like, so I
Mouth on it, mouth on it, dude. Put your
Sink,
mouth on it.
Sink.
Where's the sink?
It's
Oh,
right there.
It's too late for that.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's a little too late for that.
Just don't get it on the carpet. Just don't get it on the carpet.
It's literally right next to the carpet. You're good.
Okay. Anyways,
We're going to a
Anyways.
wire.
so Dr. Nevin goes, "Okay, was that B flat major or was that B major?" And I was like, "Oh." And he goes, "I don't have anything out here, dude."
Yeah.
Oh, behind you.
Fuck, Matt.
What?
Fuck Matt, says
Look.
the guy spilling beer.
Yeah, look, right behind you.
At least I can pull myself out.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, you all paper towels.
Yeah.
son. I'm walking around smelling beer.
Hurry up, it's coming from the wire.
Sorry. Anyways.
No.
Oh shit. Yeah. Hurry up, Nico.
Ah, I'm the Hulk.
Oh, here. Wait. That's all. Here.
Wait, I kind of want to see if we can make it in time.
No, do it.
I'm not. Don't take risks like that, Ruben. Who the fuck?
Nope, he couldn't make it. He moved it into it.
Jesus. You made it go faster.
What are you talking about? I've now moved the wire, though.
So, anyways.
It's whatever. It's whatever.
Anyways.
Playing with ants.
So, anyways, I'm like,
Fuck
oh,
you.
okay, and I try to play a B major scale, and that's really hard on trombone.
Yeah.
If you don't know what you're doing, because it's what's, and I didn't have a trigger, so it was 7th position, which is really awkward to tune, yada yada.
Yeah.
And I start playing, and I butcher it, and they're like, okay, can you play me a C minor scale? And I'm like, I know this, and no, and my hands start shaking, and they're like, okay,
Because you just because now
because
you
I just screwed up.
yeah, now you fucked up and
Yeah.
now you want to.
Yeah. And then
I'm gonna like take all those out.
And then they go, okay, can you play me an A minor scale? And I was like, okay, sure. And I try to play it. My hands are shaking. I butcher that too. And they go, okay, stop it. And then they go, okay, play me a C minor scale. I'm like, I know this one. My hands are still shaking. I fuck it up.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like,
Is this your
oh my
first
god.
jury, or
This is
is
my
this
first
your
jury. This is my first jury.
He fucking left. Let me just
It was
say,
terrible.
He left
Yeah.
that one mad. Like,
You're not talking into the mic, homeboy.
He left that one mad. He
I was
threw.
pissed.
He threw his trombone and he wouldn't talk to any of us.
I left immediately.
And holy fuck.
Did you throw it?
No, I didn't throw it.
Oh, okay. I was about to say.
Well, it was also my old trombone. But anyways, so what happened? So then
Nothing
I
Not
fucked
like
that scale up.
Throw it, but he tossed it.
Yeah,
real
so I-
gently.
So anyways, so I fucked,
Like if she mouthed off.
so I fucked up all my scales,
It's okay.
and like I think I did one pretty good, and that was okay, pretty
Yeah.
well. I think I did one pretty well, and then I'm like, I'm thinking in my head like,
The
I gotta,
other 7 sucked.
and I think to myself, I gotta save it with my solo. I gotta save it with playing in the sentimental mood. I'm like, I can do this though.
Oh, I like where this. I remember this.
Yeah, and then I
like
go to
this
play
song.
it, and I thought I was doing pretty good, and then finally, they cut me off early. They don't even let me finish. You know what I mean? They cut
It's
me
like
off.
American
which,
Idol up in this bitch.
Like,
That's enough.
which looking back on it, it's like
Randy was
okay,
like,
time
"Mm-mm."
requirements, whatever.
But at that moment, you were like,
But I was like,
You're like,
I was,
"Fuck!"
I know, I was broken hearted. I was like, what the fuck? They cut me off early, and they're like, that's enough. You don't have to finish anymore. I was like, oh no. And then they're like, it's very clear. You don't know what you're doing. You don't have anything down. Yada yada
You
yada.
have
Like, and then
totally-
Dr. Pastrana goes.
You've
Dr.
abandoned
Pastrana goes. I don't know why you're playing this.
Fuck, you've
You probably didn't
abandoned
even get permission from your teacher to do it. And I'm like, oh my god. I literally. And then he goes, I don't understand this. It's like you completely abandoned classical. Which is where that saying comes from.
Yeah.
And and I'm fuming, and I'm like, oh my god, I got it. Oh no, you're not gonna sit here. You're not gonna sit there, and while I come in and be like, you probably didn't even talk to your teacher. You don't know what which I didn't know what I was doing, Karen. But I did get permission from my teacher, and I was like, I just started playing trombone.
Yeah.
I've been
and
playing.
So for you, that of course destroys you a little bit.
Yeah, and so I remember I left. Stop it. So what happened was I was like, they finished roasting me. I'm like, okay, and I go out, and they're like, hey, man, it sounded good. I was like, I don't want to talk to anyone right now.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk. In my head, I'm like, I'm
Wouldn't
pissed.
even talk to that one cute chick. I'm not gonna name names. Just 'cause-
Ooh, really? Wow, you must have been
Wait,
really
which
mad.
The one who is no longer a music major.
Huh?
I feel like I gave you any more.
I didn't hear what you said. Oh, that one. Anyways,
I hope that wasn't able to be picked up.
I couldn't pick it up, so.
well, anyways,
Cool.
so I throw my trombone in my bag, and I'm like, you know what? And I walk out. I'm pissed.
He told
like-
me he got drunk that night.
I don't remember if I did actually.
He's probably started
probably
smoking
did.
too.
I know he that's a tradition for Matt. Is now every jury it's like, I'm gonna get drunk tonight. Like the second night he was like, next semester he was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get drunk.
But it was
And
for
then-
a good reason.
And then the
Yeah.
next jury I drove his ass and he refused to get drunk.
Oh,
He's like, I got a little drunk because the next time we
Can
went.
okay, let me finish.
Okay,
This
finish
Let
your
me finish this story.
your sob
Okay.
story.
So
He sobs.
So what happened is I walked out of the room and I go, you know what? They want fucking scales. I'll show them fucking scales. And I go get a practice room. And I go get a practice room.
Give it a minute.
And like they're like, oh hey, how's it going? I'm like, I need a practice room. And they're like, I was pissed. And they were like, oh okay. And they just gave me the key. And I go in. I start trying to practice. My hands are still shaking.
Because that
I'm
that
pissed.
just happened.
I'm so upset. I can't even take it. And I break down. Like I full on, I just fall to my knees and I can't take it anymore. I start.
He's like,
bawling.
I should have been an English major.
Exactly. Oh, hello.
I get roasted on.
And I
by
start bawling in the middle of a practice room.
an island Mexican.
You know what I mean? And I start bawling in the middle of a practice room.
Two
You know?
white people.
And then finally, it's like I think 30 minutes passes, and I'm like,
I'm gonna get drunk.
no, stop it. And then I'm like, okay. I put my horn away. I get back the room key. I go home, and I'm just kind of sitting there. I'm like,
You mean sitting here?
Do you
Now that
get up
we are-
and go, or do you give it?
Now that we are-
no. I
we are
sat
in-
down. I'm like,
we are in
all
Matt's
right,
home.
I know what I need to do over the summer, and I worked my ass off.
So you got up
And
go.
I think that's the semester before I met you. Actually, it's
Yeah.
the one where I decided. You know
No,
what?
it was two before.
No,
Well,
it was
no, as
no.
in,
Because we
No,
started.
I mean the semester where I came back and I was like, I'm ready.
Okay, yeah, your semester you were.
The one where I had the
No,
breakdown,
because
that
we
was 2 semesters before I
we
met you.
only met him. You only really met him that last semester because I remember
Yeah.
witnessing the
Brodom.
I think they're about to get married. Like it was like the first day of class. Anyway, but no, because we started
Love at first
applied at the same time.
Yeah.
That's good. You know,
It's not
really-
bad.
it's
that's like I don't like the delicious. That one's
It's not bad.
pretty good. You gotta let it sit for like 2 seconds.
It's we're drinking Stone Go-To IPA right now.
Plug that shit.
Quite tasty.
But
that gets a
you-
plug like
Anyways,
modern
you have
times
brought-
tier 1 plug. But anyway,
Anyways,
we
anyways.
started that class at the same time.
well, I mean that.
So
yeah.
the first semester was like you were like, what the hell? And I was like, oh yeah. And the
what?
second semester, the first semester where you were like, was this experience you just elaborated
Oh, yeah.
upon.
when we met.
This
yeah.
the second semester was
you getting your shit together.
Yeah.
you got it together and right,
Yeah.
and I was like, my pianist can't even stay with me. How am I supposed to stay together?
Well, you were also playing a fucking hard piece.
Yeah, I've actually never
Take
looked
it,
at, I've never looked at that piece ever again.
But,
Because we played at Sonar Tempo. The next semester was this past semester where I took it for 2 weeks. Was
Yeah,
like,
and you were like, I'm over it.
I was
Yeah.
like, this dude talks for 20 minutes. Like
Easy.
a 5
Easy.
per
Easy.
no, not even like that. It was like, so we usually go through like 12 individual performances per class.
Yeah.
to take up a whole class period.
Usually.
I would not be able to
12,
take that.
like I'd say 11, 7 to 12
Yeah.
is an average class. For
But sometimes
4
I-
people, he took up the entire class period,
then
and I'm
rushed
like,
the last few people.
that was the last straw for me. I was like, this is about filling a time slot. This is about, to me, that feels like when you go to work and you text half the time because
And
you're
then
like,
you do your
I'm
work
paid
in-
by the hour,
And then you do your work in the last 45 minutes. Yeah, I get you.
and you do half-assed work.
Yeah.
So,
Well, anyways. Okay.
Anyway,
not
so-
the point. What were you gonna say? I'm sorry.
No,
What
I
were you
was.
gonna
so he
I-
got his shit together like right before he met you, and then
Yeah.
you met Matt, and Matt just had his shit together and was getting better.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, like, when I met you, like you had the drive that I was working to get. Like I had.
Well, it's because I got my ass fucking handed.
Yeah,
to me,
well,
you know?
I'm about to get to my version of that because when I first got to Berkeley, I actually failed my first my first equivalent to a jury. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
I failed my first one. Where I come in and they're all like, "All right, you're gonna play me these scales, right?"
And he's like,
No,
fuck!
yeah, he's all like, play me like an E scale and all the modes in it, and I'm like,
Oh,
all the modes? What?
what?
That's the difference between Berkeley and community
Yeah,
college.
I
is
know.
all the
See, that was
modes.
All the modes?
that was the moment where I was like,
And you're
oh,
like,
shit.
what are all the modes? Fuck, I
Yeah,
only
I
know
was
7.
like,
I only
what
know
the
5.
I know
Fuck.
like 3.
No.
Off the top of my head, I know like what? Oh, I guess I know.
Honestly, I could have figured out, like, that first jury, I could have probably figured out Aeolian, Ionian, Mixolydian,
Dorian.
maybe Dorian had a
Dorian.
Dorian.
But those are the jazz scales, though.
Yeah.
That's just those are the easy ones. Those are the hey, you're a guitarist in jazz band 7th grade.
Yeah, you probably.
Here's
know
a
little
book.
Yeah.
Learn your shit,
Bit. Yeah.
right? And then in theory, it's like in high school theory is like you just lower this and this, you just lower this and this.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's
I
like-
gotta
it's
figure it out. You say Phrygian, I've been like fuck.
Wait, let me rework it.
You
Yeah.
said Locrian, I've been like fuck.
Anyways, so okay.
But so I didn't know what they meant just because the teacher that I had at the time, he was very, he was older. He was just like, all right.
He's like, it
we're gonna
happens
get-"
when it happens.
Mhm.
You're doing great either way.
Yeah, and I was just kind of like, all right. Well, no, actually, he actually didn't like me. He didn't like me to begin with, just because I was a slacker. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Just for him, I was a slacker. I didn't feel the energy coming from him, and I didn't want to give the energy back. And it was like, first off, it was play the scale and then all the modes in the scale. So, but basically all they were
Fucking-
all they were really asking for was just like play the scale up and then start on the next note, play the scale
Yeah,
up again.
basically.
But
That makes sense.
But
But when they word it like that, it's like
I was just like all the modes, right?
you start freaking out, right?
Yeah, I started freaking out, and you had to do that 3 times, right?
For each, like a different scale.
Yeah, each like so first one was an E flat, and then the next one was a B, and then the next one is in like C sharp, and I was just like, I am gonna die. And
I actually like this one. This is pretty good.
and then after that it was like arpeggiations, and I was sitting like, what is a chord? I mean, I knew what a chord is on a guitar, but I didn't know what it was on a
yeah,
saxophone.
you were like, God damn it.
And
Which is
then
ironic considering we took the same class where I learned them. Like
I
was
that was one of those moments where I was like, I really should have.
I
like,
should have been
taken
I should have been there that day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like I should have taken that to heart a little more, and it got. Then I had to play the 2 songs. Right? No, it's fine. It's fine. I'm probably gonna close it off in a second.
Okay,
Yeah.
anyways.
But
Okay, we're starting.
it was like, it was just like I had these 2 more songs to play, and while the songs I played were like were okay, the songs were the only like decent things on there. I had a 53% out of 100,
Yeah, that's rough.
and so they're like,
No.
Go home,
they
kid.
were like literally.
There goes your
they-
$1,000 a day.
They looked at me and they were like, "We can tell you don't know what you're doing. You don't. You sound like you're practicing."
You
here."
don't belong here, bro.
And I was just like, "Fuck!" And I go.
I want you to go home.
I walk out.
I want
I walk
you to
out of that
enroll in
room,
community
and I
college.
just like,
I want you to.
what the fuck, you know? I call my dad. I call my mom. I call my girlfriend. I'm just like, I just
don't know what I'm doing.
failed this.
If
right?
you find
Every
me in
other
the
class was an
river,
A. And that was the one that was the F. And so I go home and I'm just like I
who
just,
the fuck am I?
Yeah.
pretty much. I come back that next
I
semester.
feel like we've all had that moment though.
I come back that next semester and I go up to the teacher and I'm like,
Fuck you.
quite
With
the
full blown rally.
Fuck you.
pretty similar. It was more like I was like I want to continue.
Got it now.
Or you told him that.
No, I just told him like I want to continue, and he's all like, "What?" I'm like, yes, I want to continue. And he's like, you mean you're gonna do the first whole thing?
try?
I was like, I want to do the second thing. And he's all like, you need to do the first thing first. I'm like, I'm gonna test out. And he's like, you got 2 months. Go ahead. So he which actually turned into a month, but basically he gave me a month to do to practice up on the first stuff just so I could test out of it.
Yeah.
I fucking nailed that.
Yeah.
Right? Going into the second one, and I'm now a month and a half behind. Right? And he just looks at me like, are you going to be able to keep up this time? The next 2 that I did were probably the best I've ever played.
That's my fucking...
So here's my question.
Yeah.
If you can do that, not to discredit you at all, but if that's what you can do and you apply yourself, you could still be there. Like you could have got, if you work hard enough, you could have gotten a scholarship. Not to discredit you, not to say you should have done that.
But there's also
But to
other
say-
things
but-
that happen.
No, wait. No.
but the like, you down talk yourself like I don't like sax. There's so many
It's true.
people better than
And
me.
you know what's funny? I see you play.
And like your only limitation right now is when
Yeah.
you apply is one, you don't care enough about play yourself because again I'm not saying
No.
you don't care. I'm saying yes, your interest is in different ideas, but like I'm saying like, if you wanted to be that person,
you could.
all you
No doubt.
need is a professional model instrument.
And you know what
That's
else?
all you need because at some point
Yeah.
when you're applying yourself,
You could do it.
You're just gonna hold you back
Yeah.
after like 6 months.
Yeah, and you know what else? Like you and I are so
But
similar.
I had not heard that story. Sorry, I keep
That's
cutting you off. I had not heard that story, and I'm looking at you like, what the fuck? Because like the way you talk about yourself, like
Yeah.
I'm not good at sax. There's people great at sax.
It's because
The only thing separating you from those people is they might have natural talent.
Yeah.
They might be applying themselves more. But when you say that, I'm like, this motherfucker could roast
Yeah.
my ass.
It's
like,
because
like
so
you
here's the
could be
thing.
a way better saxophone player than
Well,
I was a trumpet player,
yeah.
practicing from like
So-
12th grade, studying with this guy for $70 an hour.
Yeah, so here's the thing. Like, I think that's why you and I are so similar.
Mhm.
Because of the fact that we're so fucking stubborn.
Different. Oh.
Well,
Because it's like, if someone, like, part of me was like, you tell me that I can't do this? Let me show you that I can.
Fuck you.
You know what I mean? And you can sit here and, like, when I first met you, I remember you telling me, I don't really like playing sax, so I don't know if I can play sax.
And then we
band."
see you get down in this
And, like,
in
literally,
this very same garage.
Last
You
rehearsal,
get
last
down.
rehearsal, you were here in this very garage. You were like, "Oh my god, I'm having so much fun playing fucking sax with this," and it's like, "Oh really now?" Because
and even Nico was like, "Oh wow, character development."
yeah, and,
I vaguely remember that.
yeah,
Yeah.
and here's the thing, like, I don't know, man. Like everyone who's here right now, we are all smart enough and driven enough if we want to be to do whatever the hell we want to do. Like Nico could do music if he wants to. He chose to go the Navy route
Yeah.
because of monetary reasons and family, whatever. That's fine.
I was.
He's gonna be
what was
great in Nuke.
interesting.
Hold on. He's gonna do great in Nuke. He's gonna go on to do great in the military, and he's gonna get out. He's gonna make a shit ton of money, and I'm gonna sleep on his couch for once.
I'll give him more than two. It's okay.
and then you're gonna
Matt
go
gets a
on.
room.
You're gonna go on to write great things,
Thank you.
and you're gonna go on to do great things.
And you're gonna
no matter
make,
what you're gonna
you're
do.
gonna make it in LA.
And I'm
hope so.
and I already know, like, I'm gonna try
With
to
more
affect
than
as
a
many,
t-shirt and underwear.
And I already know I'm gonna go on to try to affect as many lives as I can, which I'm already currently trying to do.
Yeah.
And that's why I want to be a teacher.
And
It's
that's
not
why
just
we're
to teach
sitting in
music.
this
It's not
garage.
just to have fun to go to it's not just to have fun
Two
doing what I
beers
love.
and two
It's to
hard
be
root
able to
beers in.
talk to a kid and be like, you know what, kid, you're gonna be
Okay.
okay just because I wasn't okay at
About
some
3
point,
beers.
and you will be.
Yeah.
We all are okay at some point. You know what I
It
mean?
wasn't that much.
But
It
going
was-
back-
The only thing we need is just
all you need
Yeah,
is
but
love.
going back to Nico, where he's all like, you could do something amazing if you.
You know why I
if put
tell you
drive.
that is
Huh.
because I have gotten that all this semester. I had so there's a private trumpet teacher as a class, private
Mika.
brass.
Oh yeah,
brass,
Howard, kick your ass.
right? So it's like third to last lesson, fourth week from the end. She's like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "I don't understand. Like, you could be playing with She's like, "I went to a conservatory. You could be hanging with those kids better than I could have. But you seem to be like throwing darts in the dark." Like you don't know exactly what you want. You don't know where you're going with it. And it's kind of what pushed. It's part of what pushed me to what I did. Part of it was it was an interesting home situation that you've all heard of.
Mm-hmm.
But part of it was like, she's like, you could do that.
Yeah. And
I'm like, I don't have money to do that. And
it's true. Money is definitely a hard thing with music.
It's definitely it, because one, it's like, there's not the juice is worth the squeeze for how you want to live, how you want to feel about your job. Comes to monetarily, very rarely do you make it big enough where that juice is worth that squeeze.
But
like you go to
for you, it's just not what you want necessarily. It's not what you were striving
That's not to say that I didn't want music, is at some point different things
It wasn't as important to you.
Different things came more important to me. Like,
exactly.
I'd rather grow and have my own autonomy and be like, listen, I'm 22 years old and I'm about to be a homeowner.
Yeah.
I'd rather have that than I'm 22 years old, I got a conservatory, I got $80,000 worth of debt.
Yeah.
So
meanwhile, me and Ruben are like, I don't care for my debt.
Whereas I also have different priorities.
Yeah.
Right now, like I have this relationship that I want to be more, and
I'm
thinking like I'm also neurotic. And I think you guys, not to say that it's bad, you don't have that same neuroticism. You guys do have that like forethought of worry.
Yeah. But it's not to the same extent that you have.
It's not the same like stress of like I lay awake at night thinking,
how are you going to support
should
this
I
girl?
be a music major and struggle to get a bachelor's degree to make $40 a year right off the bat?
I had that struggle where I'm like, should I do it? But at the end of the day, it's always
you're like nothing else is worth it for you.
It's like this is it.
Whereas for me, it's like I need to provide. I need to provide right off the bat. I need to not be in debt. I can't snap right now.
I know, it's funny. Sorry. Anyways.
But we had this conversation about snapping. I snap with a different finger than he does, and his is meteor.
It doesn't matter. Anyways.
So I have all these different priorities that I'm like.
Julio does that. I'm sorry.
We have all these different priorities. I have these different priorities. He's like, if I don't do music, that's gonna be a failure to me. Whereas I'm like, if I don't succeed and provide, music is secondary to that. Then get the hell away out of my parents' house.
Yeah.
And provide for this girl, and we'll get a dog.
Yeah.
And we'll get a dog. Yeah,
that
was the important
part. Dog, and we are not in debt.
You're happy?
I made it.
Yeah.
I made it. Fuck everyone who said I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I might have an associate's in music and a bachelor's in whatever the fuck earns me money.
Yeah.
But 5 days a week I work. Whereas part of it with school too was I went to school at 7. I started class at 7 in the morning. Worked until 10 at night. I'm like, I'm putting 16-hour. Like part of me in my third semester or fourth semester, beginning of fourth semester, like I'm putting in 16-hour days.
Yeah.
Why aren't I just working full time?
Yeah.
That's what pushed me towards the options I've gone towards.
Well,
because I'm like, there's much more. The same squeeze can get me much more juice elsewhere.
Somewhere else.
Well, I think. Well, and just to sum up, I think just because we probably gotta end this soon.
Well, yeah. Well,
I want to end it on one. I want to end it on one note. So give me that.
Okay, I'm just trying to bring that back because he was saying like you could do it if you have the drive, and
like you could definitely do it if you had the drive.
I appreciate that comment.
I think
but that's what happened when I came back.
Yeah.
Was when I got back, I was like I was defeated. I was down. I was down. I thought I was out.
You were that first jury.
Yeah. Which is funny.
And I was because I failed. I went back. I started working towards it, and then my funds got pulled out from under me. And at this point, both of my parents have cancer. I feel like I'm not being a good enough role model for my sister. I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna support my relationship, and then I come back and just everything hit then, and I think I'm down. I think I'm out.
Yeah.
And I remember all the people that have been so supportive. All the people back in even back in high school where they were like, man, like you could do it, and I just all of that started hitting me. It just slowly. It was like a small
almost
whisper.
Like that adds to it.
Yeah. It was also a small
either it
whisper.
adds to what the fuck did I do, but also it's like I gotta do something.
Yeah, I have to do something, and it was at first it was weighing me down because it was just oh my god, I was about to lose my shit, and then I realized why do I have to let it bring me down when I can let it bring me up? And I was like, I'm gonna do it. I don't know what the album is. I'm gonna do it. And then my friends were like, hey, rap album. Okay, damn, rap album on it, right?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm doing that. I'm like, I'm gonna work on my own album, right? doing that. I meet you. You're like, podcast idea. I'm like, okay, I can balance the 3, right?
And here we are.
And so at this point,
And then
I was
banned.
yeah. And then I was sitting there thinking like,
And then
I
Matt,
can't-
and then you can't. Then Matt like brought sax back in your life. You're like, I'm a keyboardist. I remember that.
Yeah, I remember.
You pushed
Yeah.
him towards it, but you are having fun with it again.
Yeah.
You are.
Fuck you if
I
you
see
say
having
differently.
fun.
Like you
Yeah.
get down, you're swaying your hips when you're playing.
And you and I have fun soloing together. So you
yeah,
can't
I
tell
will.
me you
I
don't.
will. I will admit, there's a.
But you know, you've come back, and I feel like it's enriched your life in different ways. You wouldn't have gotten
But the
like
thing is,
it was
you
too
don't have to-
intensive, like beat you in the head.
But here's the
Here
thing.
it's
I know
like
the thing
beat
you
you.
hate. I know the thing you hate, which is you don't like to be just a sax player.
Yeah, I
And
don't
you're
like
not.
you just a
You're
second.
not. You're a fully rounded musician.
Thank you.
Maybe you could round yourself out more.
This turned into Blow
But you're a
Ruben,
musician.
Blow Ruben segment.
Anyways,
No,
go
but
on.
yeah.
Finish your ten.
Yeah,
finish
it
your
was
segment.
it was like
And then
all
we'll blow
like
you.
I was just like, you know what? I'm tired of waiting on people. I'm tired of always like of just getting like.
Have
the,
you considered the
can't do it."
military?
Like,
Shut
have you? Yeah, no, he's right though. I've like everybody, my father, you know, any guy older
listen
than the
to
age
that
of
guy.
30 was just like, man, you should probably check out the military. I've had several recruiters come on like, we have bands.
Not gonna lie, same.
We would like for you to be in these bands, and I was like,
Well, that was my goal. I think we discussed this, but I
Yeah.
was like, I can afford associates.
Yeah.
I want to not abandon this, but I also want to take it further
Yeah.
in a way that is not financially risky or stupid.
yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I'll get the associates. I'll join a military band. The more I explored that option, I realized a military band was not the best military route for me.
Yeah, yeah.
So, anyways,
So okay, so we're gonna
Now
cut
I've
this
talked
off.
you both into
Yeah,
it.
so
Yeah.
we're gonna cut this off really quick. We might have a short bonus episode coming up just for the sake of
We always have unfinished thoughts.
Yeah.
the
yeah,
three of us.
always there's always some thoughts that are a little unfinished. But anyway, we're gonna cut this off really quick so that you know, some of us can get some sleep.
yeah, at some point. Anyways,
but
thank
yeah.
you guys. I think this has been a really good episode. I think this has been a good.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
I'm a little buzzed, but that's fine.
Yeah. All right. Well, just
my
so you
name's
guys
Matt.
know,
Yeah.
I got an EP coming. I got an EP out. So if you guys want
It's
to check that out,
great. I recommend you listen to it.
thank you.
Let it,
Links in the
let it move
description.
you.
And that brings
Um,
me to one
We're on
last
Spotify. Really quick. Really quick.
fucker.
We are on Spotify. The Golden Boys
Yeah,
are on Spotify.
Golden Boys
for
is now
your
on Spotify.
Listening ease, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
You
That,
gotta prove.
that brings me to a very last point. This is historic. Golden Boys for two reasons. One, I'm here.
Yeah, Nico's on the show.
This
Nico's-
has been many like it was
Episodes
in
past.
since its inception. It's like, can I be on? And then they talk shit about me, and then I was like,
Can I be
Can
on now?
can I be
since
on
we've started,
now?
we've
Yeah.
been
We've been wanting to bring you on.
yeah.
I tried to run the Facebook, and I was like, oh, I'm sorry, can I be involved?
Your life fell apart of that. Anyways,
Anyway, second reason historic. This is the first time I've gotten genuinely inebriated.
really?
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm pretty drunk right now too.
Like, this is the first time I've ever gotten like kind of drunk. Like, I realized I'm walking to your bathroom. I'm like, fuck, I better stand fucking rock solid. So good on you guys for
Yeah.
Finally getting you there.
finally getting me there. Like, I've been slightly buzzed before,
Yeah. Not this.
but
one.
never for more than like 10 minutes, and never actually drunk where I'm like,
Yeah.
I need to be careful walking. But I'm all here. I'm not blackout.
Yeah, I know,
which
I
is
feel
why
you.
we split that.
Yeah. No, it's fine. Yeah.
I will
So-
admit, I kind of wish I had a little bit more.
It's
but
okay,
I
you're
have
driving,
To, yeah,
so-
I have to
Shut
drive.
the fuck up.
Anyways.
You better get home alive.
Anyways,
So, historic moment number
historic
2.
moment. All right.
First
well,
drunk.
Golden Boys. My
Go-
name is Matthew Langton.
My name's Ruben Ortega.
Chicken to
We have been here with Nico, the Hoodlum Hurtado, great guy.
Just throw me out there. Hoodlum.
Hopefully,
Have
we
a
can
good
bring it
night,
back.
guys.
First,
Thank you so
last
much for
name.
listening.
Yeah.
Where's the dog? He's asleep in the corner. I feel like it's for you.
I gotta take the most massive leak of my life. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Me
okay.
too. Don't. You gotta break the seal. You might have to move it yourself because I can't walk.
Oh,
I'm not gonna lie to you.
usually I have like a thing that comes like afterwards where like I just talk like a little bit after and just have like a outro.
Cool, like a post show.
Yeah. More or
So
less.
let's do a beer counter.
Beer counter.
sure.
All right. All right.
So I see what he has.
Oh yeah, we have.
Me and
the-
him split one. See the other thing he has over there, the mango one.
Okay, so that's
next
two.
to the stone.
Yeah,
I had half of those.
Okay, so there's two halves.
The stone, I pretty much half of that, and you sipped from his, and you sipped from mine.
Yeah. So
2 of these and 1 of these.
Shit.
So it's not Orgio level because
Yeah.
I got
But
there.
we're also much smaller than he is.
We're much smaller, and these are not all that. These are 5.8.
You can't even grab it.
That's because I'm trying to reach past the microphone and still talk. So these are 5.9, 2 5.9s. I think this is the 5.8. 5.4.
I think this is the longest Golden Boys episode so far.
And we're in the post show now. We're still recording, and you're gonna chop. I feel bad for you to chop this up.
Yeah.
You should timestamp where that one ended.
No, that's fine.
Fuck. I've never had trouble walking.
Hey Nico.
I'm in Matt's Mac show now.
Hey Nico, do you want to do like a quick post episode?
Sure.
All
So
right,
the
cool.
Stone IPA, I feel.
Wait. Hold up. You think I'm gonna close this out? And then we're gonna come
Okay,
back.
let me finish reading out the alcohol percentages of these. This is 4.8. We split that one of those. We split mind you, I'm a good 20 pounds at least lighter than Matt.
Oh hell yeah. He has a gut, and so do I.
The Modern Times is 4.8. We split one of those.
Man, like you guys suck. You can't even like 4.8.
They suck. Oh, what the fuck? Someone jump. There it goes.
Oh, that bitch.
So we're in a garage and oh, he's fucking with it. I thought
Yeah.
it was a motion sensor.
No, you can tell when the lights started flashing.
I'm low key drunk. What's the percent on?
Yeah, we're recording a
percent?
little episode. All
Okay, and the mango IPA is 7%. That's a double, huh?
right, so we're gonna
It's not a double. It's delicious though.
So I got half of those.
conclude this for a
I can
second.
hear it in your voice.
So
All right, guys, see you later.